look, I know why I do this to myself, because like I enjoy entertaining you guys, but you've literally got a choice. You choose to do this to yourself. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does the stupidity what Bob Iger is definitely trying to do to Marvel. So, yeah, we're doing Mindshock Monday, and I hope you're ready, because, I mean, like I said before I played my intros, you guys have got a choice, and you're still here. But I thank you. I thank you all for being here to join me as we hurt our brains looking at Mindshock. And of course, we are covering Mindshock, covering Witsit versus Infowars. Last time we managed to get through Infoshock, covering the intro that Harrison from Infowars did, and that was painful enough. And this time round, we are going to cover Mindshock, covering Witsit's intro. Now, of course, we all know that Mindshock very much enjoys the taste of Witsit's testicles, so there will be a lot of, oh, Witsit is so wonderful, and hardly any calling him out. So what I'm going to probably do, as there hopefully won't be much of Mindshock talking, is I will give my response to Witsit's intro. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Clive Wells, Dr. Clive Wells. Hello, Platonic Cuddler. I will get the new emojis that you've made me. Thank you very much. Icy Spin 199. I'd love to see Desert File sitting on one of these. We can definitely get that arranged. Do you hate Desert File? After this today, I will be going over to Modern Day Debate to do a moon landing debate, followed straight away by coming back and doing a Flat Earth debate here with a dude called Stuart Buckle, who I'm also debating on Jeranisms on Thursday. So, and also on Wednesday, me and Toon are debating on Jeranisms against Flats and Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. So, yeah, I guess I really do hate myself. But yeah, we're going to cover Mindshock until it is time for me to go over to Modern Day Debates. Now, the plan is with these Mindshock streams to keep them to about 90 minutes, because let's face it, that's enough Mindshock one time. We don't want to hurt ourselves too much in one go. I already know that since my last Mindshock stream, Mindshock has done a response, or at least some kind of stream, slagging me off, calling me the dumbest person on earth, whilst he says that Witsit is intelligent. So yeah, that's cool. Icy Spin 199. Hope you're feeling better, Craig. I am feeling a lot better. Even at 15%, I was still smarter than every flat earther on the planet. Rightio. Let's do this. And again, I'm sorry in advance. Right, where is my screen? We're here. Bring this up. Whee! Yeah, and I want to apologise for the stream the other day with John Puckett, because fuck me, that was painful, right? he sent me a bunch of messages saying that he's going to take all of my assets. Whatever that means. Yeah, I need to have a bloody word with Elon Musk about my space internet. The hamsters up there must be struggling or something. I don't know. It's weird because it doesn't say on my end that there's any problem. But then it shows on the YouTube stream that there's buffering. I mean, I'm getting... Let's have a look. I'm getting 265 down. About average. Yeah, I'm getting 11.2 up. I mean, that should be more than enough. I apologise if there is buffering. I'll have a chat with Musk. I'll sort it out.
Has been acting up ever since I did the NASA Occult Patches podcast. It just has not been the same since then.
Just get on with it. Right.
Yeah. Anywhere near the camera. I mean, isn't that wild? It's on the left are the total amount of satellites and space debris. So you'd also be... It was relatively decent.
Right, here we go.
It was relatively streamlined until the occult top secret mission patches. If you haven't checked...
Hello, Lovebot. Still not telling you what I programmed you for or giving you updates. Deal with it. Hey, Martin H. Hey, Jaybird Max. Hey, I am here. Hey, 274727. Testicles tasting evening to you as well. David Moore, how you doing? Craig Poole, nice to see you. Yeah, sorry, Lovebot. Please do prepare yourself because here we go with the stupidity of Mindshock. Mindshock.
Out that episode. Check it out. It is truly mind-shocking.
Hey, Glaber Mum.
Okay, I got it here. So, if you look at the images here, especially
the dumb is starting
on the
early.
bottom here, those are the claimed satellites. On the right side are the really big ones, the football field-sized ones. So you should be able to see all of those, especially on a 24-hour time-lapse. Now, on the left are the total amount of satellites and space debris. So you'd also be able... Now, obviously, you wouldn't be able to see the space debris that's really far. But out of the thousands, tens of thousands...
What do you mean really far? Because all the satellites are, really far above you. At least a few hundred miles, And the ones that are big, like, football field size, like ISS and the CSS... You can see them. There's apps to let you see them when you can, time when you're going to see them. You can even see them transit the moon or the sun. Starlink satellites, which are tiny, you can still see them. Well, you can at least see the light reflecting off of them. Because a lot of the satellites, even with a telescope, are going to be far too small, angular resolution-wise, to be able to be seen. Space, here's the thing, Mindshock. Space big, satellite small. Right? So, even in that picture that's behind the graphic you've put up, there probably is a whole bunch of satellites in that picture. But they're so far away, with such a small angular resolution, and not reflecting light from the sun in the right direction, that there's no way the camera that's looking out could see them. But you wouldn't know that because, you are dumb as fuck.
Or even hundreds of thousands or even millions of pieces of space debris, any of the little pieces of space debris that were flying by the camera over a 24-hour time lapse or even a 12 or 6-hour time lapse, there would be dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands, that would fly very close to the camera that you would clearly be able to see regardless of exposure setting.
He's making the claim that any camera in space, like on the ISS, over a 24-hour period, would be able to see a bunch of space debris going past it. Do you think there's just space debris covering the whole of space? No, even with all of the space debris and space and satellites that are up there in space, it's still, you're never gonna come close to another satellite. The orbits won't be meeting. The trajectories of the debris would not match up with the orbit of the ISS. It just even... He seems to think there's just this massive cloud of bits of metal around Earth that the ISS is just ploughing its way through. Well, I say think. That's not really what he does, is it?
So I'll let this play through just so everybody gets an idea of why I am saying this. I mean, not one, not a single satellite, not a single piece of space debris anywhere near the camera. I mean, isn't that wild?
Well, no, that's because you think that graphic is kind of accurate as to how it looks. They aren't that big. Earth massive, real big. Space even bigger. Satellites and debris small. Not everything orbits at the same altitude above Earth. So, just to be expecting stuff to just be bashing into other bits of debris and seeing debris in front of the camera just shows that you haven't a fucking clue what you're talking about. Dipshit.
Isn't that wild?
See, like a flat earther, he has issues with scale. And issues with separating representations. Like the thing on the bottom left that has the Earth with, you can see the satellites all around it, looks like a cloud. That's not how it looks in reality. That would make every fucking satellite the size of Mount Everest.
Still, not a single one. Not one. Not one yet. Shane 187 Thompson says, yet no space garbage has ever crashed into the camera. Yeah, statistically, for the amount of years that they've allegedly been up there, for the amount of years the alleged satellites have been up there with cameras, you'd think there'd be at least one impact.
He said statistically there should be an impact. I'd love to see his maths on those statistics. I mean, here's the thing. It's a non-zero chance, right? So the chance is less than zero that a piece of debris or something would smash into the space station. And there has been micrometeorites and stuff that have hit the space station and even left holes. But it's not constantly plowing through a cloud of debris. He seems to think it'd be like a person walking through a ball pit, just pushing all these fucking satellites out of the, and bits of debris out the way as it goes past. Mindshock. I would suggest getting a CAT scan. Just not to check if there's anything wrong, but to see if you have a fucking brain.
Severe or not. No, but just look at these time lapses. Not one single satellite, especially on that top video, you can see the exposure adjustment. So you might not be able to see the stars. That's a valid point. You might not. You might not see the stars. But where are the satellites? I mean, this is crazy.
Well, isn't that... No, I don't know where that top one is. But, again, if that's from the ISS that's just above Earth, there's not a bunch of fucking debris and other satellites just orbiting in that same orbital path. And even if they are, they wouldn't be going exactly the same direction that the ISS is going. I mean, it is an issue with just visualizing reality, right? This is why Mindshock is the closest to being a flat earther that you can get without being a flat earther. And I would say that he is dumber than a lot of flat earthers. So, yeah, Mindshock, I really hope that you actually do a full review of this and fucking explain your stupidity. That's not how it looks. Space big, satellites small, like your brain.
Where's the space debris? Still not a single satellite, not one. Some of these satellites are huge. They're like football fields. They're way bigger than planes.
Yes, and space is a lot bigger than that. A lot bigger. You might think that it's a long way down to your local shop, but that's peanuts to space. Whoa, Syrian! Dude! Why are you being so mean to lobotomized lab rats? Please do not equate innocent lab rats that are lobotomized to someone as dumb as as Mindshock. There is no need. I expect a full apology in the chat. That's just not on.
Not a single one. I mean, look at that.
Not a single one, said the doctors when looking for your brain cells.
Not a single. Where are these football fields flying in this, in allegedly in the atmosphere here? And again, I'll just...
Allegedly in the atmosphere. The ISS isn't in the atmosphere. It's in space. That's, like, by definition, not in the atmosphere.
Zoom in on these claimed satellites that are up there, and on the left is an image provided by NASA of satellites and space debris on what it actually looks like.
No, it isn't what it actually looks. He thinks it's a real picture. He thinks it's a real picture, guys.
And yet we see none of it. Again, let's say we would not expect to see 80% of it, or even 90% of it. That still leaves hundreds of satellites and space debris. I mean, you know, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. So let's go back to this.
Crazy stuff that people watch you and agree with you. Crazy stuff that you've made it to adulthood. Crazy stuff that you get up each morning. Crazy stuff that you can eat your breakfast without accidentally digging your eye out with a spoon.
And perfect model, just like most things in creation. A flat earth model, to me, is childish and simplistic in comparison. Nothing else in creation.
Childlike and simplistic, wow.
That I can observe.
It is. The flat earth model is pretty childlike and simplistic. Sun in sky, go round. Oh, magic levitation. Oh, God made dome. That is pretty simplistic. You know, I don't think God's real. But, you know, if God can only make a fucking little snow globe, then Hulk was right. Puny God.
You know, makes me feel like I'm,
Wow, makes him feel like. So now we're not even talking about his thinking ability. We're talking about his emotions and his feelings. So all of this is based on his feelings. I mean, wow. Wow.
in God's...
He's giving his position and his reason for the position. And there's no reason why his feelings can't come into that position, especially if he's religious.
celestial hamster cage that the firmament would represent. That being said, I know that this belief is essential to understanding the why of the conspiracy, right? The idea that making people...
Yeah, Adrenochrome, Mindshock doesn't believe in satellites but believes in the globe, yeah. He knows we live on a globe, but NASA and, you know, they're liars. Of course they are, because reasons. The guy on the right there with the pubic hair on the face that looks partly like a beard, he holds him up to high esteem. So he's not a smart person.
Will believe that we're on a planet spinning through...
Okay, he's obviously just reading a script.
Maybe he wrote a script, so fucking what?
So, I mean, that's obvious. What's not obvious is exactly what he truly believes, or why, because he hasn't really stated any of that yet. Maybe he won't.
I mean, he did. He just gave his reasons for believing why he believes what he believes. Again, maybe you weren't paying it. Guess not.
But look, you can see right now, he's reading from a script. You can see the reflection of the paper in his glasses.
And so what?
So this is clearly not some kind of genuine on-the-fly, because it's like, we're not talking about quick reference points. He's...
Generally, when you're doing a debate, you read a prepared opening statement. That's how it works. I know Mindshock's never been in a debate, but I didn't think you were stupid enough to not know how a debate works.
Literally reading a script here. I mean, this is kind of crazy. Like, Alex Jones might have points on the paper, but I don't think...
Otto, I hope that Flatzoid or Mindshock review this stream of me reviewing Mindshock reviewing Witsit versus Infowars, because, you know, that's just what the internet is, right? And then someone needs to make a whole bunch of shorts that are green screens with someone just pointing like this from the one that does the review of this.
Alex Jones regularly reads a full script. I mean, is it really? Are all of his unhinged rants truly reading a script? I don't think so. I think Alex Jones is relatively unscripted, and I'm sure he has points listed that he.
I want to make it clear again. I am not a fan of Infowars and Harrison and Alex Jones. I do not like the conspiracy theorist nutbags and the things they say and push. However, like me, Harrison and Alex also say the Earth is a globe. So that's why we're doing this.
Needs to discuss. But Harrison H. Smith here, it looks like he's reading entire paragraphs here.
So what? So what if he's reading paragraphs? Who cares?
So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring this up on the screen too, just for the people who are, I am not a Bible scholar, nor, you know, this, I'm not going to say that we need to appeal. I don't have to be a Bible scholar, obviously, to make points that are correct. Anybody saying otherwise is, you know, basically appealing to authority.
Well, no, that's not how appeal to authority works. If you're talking about the Bible, then appealing to Bible scholars is not appealing to authority. If I wanted to know how the Bible works, and I went to the Prime Minister because he's in authority and asked him, can you tell me about how the Bible works? Oh, well, he's right, because he told me. That's appealing to authority. Appealing to authority is not referring to the experts in a particular field. That's not how that works. The fact that you push yourself as a bastion of logic and going and breaking down fallacies is insane. You're fucking stupid.
Or seeking credentials, which are both logical fallacies, appeal to authority, and credentials, logical fallacy. But, yeah, I'm simply not a Bible scholar. And, again, you don't have to be one, but one of the reasons it's of critical importance is because there are so many false prophets and teachers. So if they're all teaching, if some of the fundamentals of the establishment that even Harrison H. Smith says you shouldn't believe and is corrupt to the core. 2 Peter 2:1, but there were also false prophets among...
What does any of this have to do with his introduction and his reason for thinking the Earth's a globe? Mindshock, you wanted to just speak to hear yourself speak, and I'm going to have fun destroying you every Monday.
The people, just as there will be false teachers among you, they will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the sovereign Lord who brought them, bringing swift destruction on themselves. So it's kind of weird. Like, again, I don't really know a lot about this guy. But if he really is some kind of shill deceiver doing Satan's work, I'm not saying he is. It's very possible he's just a naive, narcissistic soy goof brought up in the trophy generation. It's very possible. If I had to guess, I would lean that way.
I don't know who he is, but you know, I don't think he's this, but I'd say he's this. You fucking moron.
I'm not saying he's some kind of mastermind genius, you know, doing the devil's work here in deceiving people to destruction.
Devil's not a thing. Dumbass.
But him claiming that there's no spiritual component here, I mean, again, regardless of what the shape truly is, clearly there would be a spiritual component in something as fundamental as the shape of the Earth. Clearly. So again, I don't...
Why? Why is it spiritual? The shape of things aren't spiritual. Nothing spiritual stops this being a sphere or keeps it being a sphere. A sphere is going to be a sphere. Spirituality doesn't matter. If spirituality makes you think that the Earth is flat, then it's fucking wrong.
I don't know if I want to give him the credit of being some kind of mastermind genius who's doing this intentionally. It's very possible he's just a naive, narcissistic...
Oh no, it's Andy says it's simple. It makes him feel important even when he's wrong, which is most of the time you're not wrong. You are, in fact, very right.
Trophy generation, soy goof.
Worth makes people think we're less significant, is therefore it's easy to sway people towards a materialistic understanding of the Earth. I don't believe that in the first place, but obviously that would be the reason why, the primary reason why they would want to keep the shape of the Earth secret, if that was the case. So let's confront this conspiracy, because it would be a massive conspiracy necessary to uphold a lie of this magnitude.
Wait, would it? Again,
Yeah. Yes, it fucking would. The amount of people involved in hiding the shape of the world is insane.
Oh man, this really is like Flat Earth 101 debates. I mean, why? Why would that many people be in it? Again, I've brought this up so many times. There are things we're just finding out now about top secret World War II, even World War I, top secret operations.
And none of that has anything ever to do with the shape of the fucking planet. Yes, wars have secret operations. That's a thing. But hiding the shape of the world that we live on from all of humanity for millennia? Silencing anyone that knows the truth? It's fucking ridiculous. Mathematically, it couldn't happen.
That doesn't mean the entire multi-million strong army was all part of it. They just didn't know. They didn't know. I mean, top secret clearances are only at the very top, so obviously it would not require everybody to be lying. I mean, just the level of gopher here is, it's crazy, but I do have to give Harrison H. Smith the credit. He does not appear triggered. I do have to give him that, at least at this juncture in time.
And it doesn't even make sense as a concept, right? If you
Harrison, you're under 1 minute.
If you put yourself in the position of people who are trying to keep this secret, there are like a million other ways you could do it.
Wait, Van Roo in the chat saying, I loved watching Hubris Harrison. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Oh my god. I didn't know that a laugh could be punchable. Just saying.
Told him to, quote, prepare to be drag kicking and screaming into the ball of facts and logic. Where did he say that? Was that in the video? Was that in the video they did when
no,
they
it was in the
first
tweet
announced
beforehand.
the debate?
I know Stringer News, right? I want to punch that.
Was that in that video, or was this,
Get on
was
with it.
this
I have to speed him up to
in this
120.
Okay, hold on. I think I want to play it just to set the stage here because this... No way. Hold on. Let me see.
Just get on with it.
The Robot Polisher did a cool video. His videos are pretty hilarious.
No, Robot Polishers... Well, Robot Polishers videos are hilarious because they're dumb. Editing is pretty slick, but, you know, even the points they tried to make are pretty stupid. You'll see them on X if you go on there. By the way, guys, if you're not following me on X, then smash that X follow. I am currently playing his stream where he's silent, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that.
See if we can skip that bit.
I mean, we're kind of diving into the psychology of Harrison here. Obviously, I think we're going to be getting into the hypocritical realm quite extensively with...
Covered it up and the parents didn't report it. Farmer's market just down the road.
The heliocentric...
Logic necessary to...
H. Smith more or less video, or is that just...
Lie. They have this idea.
Oh,
Good horrifying. We are... Just one of these would require thousands of people working for decades in absolute
Right,
secrecy
there we
and...
go.
wait, what? So wait a second, does Harrison H. Smith... What is his position on the moon landing? Because... I mean, there are literal engineers who came out and said they have no idea if the landing was real or not, because everything is so compartmentalized, they were only working on one aspect of it.
Payoff is what exactly? Possibly...
I mean, that's not true. Right, all the documents about the moon landing were freely shared, and everyone knows what they were doing. It was such a monumental thing to put together that you couldn't hide bits and bobs from everyone. Everyone had to work together. And there's just no proof of this compartmentalization. It's just nonsense.
Weaken people's faith? Yeah, I don't buy it.
Wait, he said he did all this research, and the only payoff he could think of, again, appeal to motive, which is not relevant to anything, but even if we are going with appeal to motive, the only thing he come up with is weaken faith? What? As if they're...
What? Just... This is his opening!
I mean, wow. Again, it's like he hasn't watched a single Flat Earth debate.
Steel Clay says, I'm 90% sure Caleb and Mindshock are the same person. A lot of people say it. But unfortunately, they're just two separate stupid people.
Hey, weird. You would think if you're going up against a guy like Austin Witsit. I mean, if you're...
Although, if you are on X, tag Caleb and tell him that I've chased him off the internet.
Playing basketball and your opponent is Michael Jordan, you would think you would at least study some tape, not that it would help, but you would at least want to prepare somewhat.
At the scale of deception necessary is frankly too great, and the payoff is non-existent. The third part is...
Wow, false dichotomy, false premise, hallucinating a non-existent payoff.
He didn't give two options, so it couldn't have been a false dichotomy. Man, I would love to debate Mindshock on fallacies. It'd be hilarious.
An appeal to motive. I mean, wow. I mean, I guess, yeah, we have to reintroduce Dunning-Kruger, so... Yeah, he's subject... The narcissism's...
Again, if you guys are getting buffering, it is not on my end. I do not know what's going on. It looks all perfect for me. Right, I have lowered the bitrate, so see if that helps with the buffering, but I'm not getting any on my end. I don't understand.
Theory here that Alex Jones does want to promote Flat Earth, because Alex Jones did have Eddie Bravo and Flat Earth Dave on the podcast. Alex Jones did discuss Flat Earth, however, briefly on the Joe Rogan podcast, 1 or 2 times with Eddie Bravo, and on his own podcast. So...
Yeah, but neither of them think the Earth is flat, because even though they're fucking idiots, they're, you know, not that brain damaged.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fair. And Infowars even put out some kind of Flat Earth video, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 3 years ago. Actually, I think they did 2 segments. They did one segment with Eddie Bravo and not Alex Jones on it. It was 1 or 2 other people talking Flat Earth on Infowars. And then there was, I think the more recent one was with Alex Jones and Flat Earth Dave called in.
And that it is, in fact, censored. Clearly, it is censored to some degree. Not to as great a degree as other things, but I know we should all recognize at this point the YouTube videos that have a little Wikipedia box under are probably worth paying attention to. So that gave me a little bit of pause. But then...
Well, all mine do, because I've tagged them Flat Earth.
Again, just because something is censored doesn't mean it is therefore true. And we know things like QAnon are censored, but also entirely...
Straw man, nobody is making the claim that it's true because of the censor.
fraudulent. And to me, looking over the timeline...
I didn't think he said that, though. He didn't say that people are saying it's true because it's censored. He's saying that makes it a little bit suspicious. You just strawmanned your own strawman, dude. Strawman squared. Strawmanception.
And the growth of Flat Earth does not seem remotely or...
Again, if everyone can try to not give any spoilers on what comes later in the debate, because some people are watching this for the first time. Including myself. I had only seen a couple... I had only drifted in and out of this one. It's mostly blind.
Organic. If you search news archives by years, there's no mention of Flat...
Hey guys, just 1 hour left of Mindshock. And then we get to move over to a moon landing debate.
Earth at all, pretty much until 2013, until Obama, of all people, brings up the Flat Earth system.
That's actually not true. So I need to do a separate podcast on that. I was actually digging into the history of Flat Earth because I found it fascinating. There is some activity in the 90s, and I will be going into...
Yeah, the history of Flat Earth is fascinating. If you look at lobotomies and brain damage, lead poisoning in children, alcohol fetal syndrome, these things, they all help researching the history of Flat Earth, frankly. Stephen Jarvis, £5 says, sorry, off topic, Craig. Flats and some said, thought tonight they're going to crush both you and MC2 on Jeranism. They have a cunning plan, maybe. Cunning plan, yeah. They, of course, think they're going to crush us, but, they're flat earthers, and debating them is like playing chess against pigeons, because even if you destroy it, they'll just push over the pieces and shit on the board.
That. Obviously, most of it has been scrubbed from the internet, but I was very interested in that, especially from the Illuminati card game about the flat earthers knowing something. That definitely piqued
That's a joke.
my interest. So there was flat earth going on the internet in the 90s. Again, not claiming it was popular or anything. I mean, the internet itself wasn't that popular back then, but that is an untrue claim there. False premise.
Society. And, it seems like came out of nowhere. Nobody mentioned it before about 2013, and suddenly it's everywhere. It's the transgender movement of conspiracy theories. Nobody had ever heard of it a decade ago, but now
Harrison,
about 25% of people make it their entire personality. So that's my feeling on Flat Earth. The floor is yours, Austin.
Well, there we go. Harrison said kind of a bunch of nothing, really. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. Flat Earth, I completely agree, but his position is that it just doesn't make sense to him. But fair enough, But let's listen to Austin Witsit say a bunch of shit and just debunk him. How many times do you think that Mindshock is going to interrupt Witsit and call him out for fallacies?
Nice. So,
I mean, I can't let Harrison slide on that. Is Harrison really that goofy? No one had ever heard about it? He literally just mentioned the Flat Earth Society in that tirade. And now he's saying nobody ever heard about it, and now they're making it...
He was being hyperbolic. He was using hyperbole, dude. You know, of course some people have heard of it. But, like, you know, no one fucking heard of that. It's... You really don't understand the difference between, like, you know, an idea of something, dude, and the actual reality of it. It's incredible.
Their whole identity, which even if that's true, even if there's a whole bunch of flat earthers with personality disorders making flat earth their entire identity, how does that make it untrue? Did he forget what the objective of the debate? I mean, it's kind of weird. It's like he doesn't even know. Has he ever participated in any debate?
Dave McKeegan, £5 says, don't know about Flatzoid having a cunning plan. I think it'll be a Dunning plan. Dun dun dun. Dunning-Kruger plan, of course.
Does he even know what a debate is? I mean, we do have to ask these questions. I'm not being mean to Harrison Smith here. I'm just asking logical questions that I think need to be asked.
I'm going to try to address some of the meta things you mentioned here, because that was a similar approach I wanted to take. We can get into the specifics in the open discussion. So, like
Oh, wow. Van Roo in the chat saying Outer Limits show in the 90s, the cafe was called Flat Earth. I did not know that, and I did watch Outer Limits as it...
No one cares. Get on with it.
So I'm going to have to go back and check that out. Thanks for bringing that up. That's interesting.
Bloody Stupid Johnson, I will talk to Toon about that and get back to you. Obviously, me being incredibly ill the past few months has put things back a bit.
Outer Limits? The Outer Limits of what? That's an interesting name for a show. Outer Limits? They talking about beyond Antarctica there?
I said, I originally thought this must be a psyop, and it's used to discredit all the other conspiracy theories, right? But that actually is not the case. You know, actually on the back of Alex's book, right, or Tucker...
I mean, Flat Earth does discredit other conspiracy theories a bit, right? Because it's so fucking stupid. It is the pet rock of the internet. So, you know, it makes other conspiracy theories look not quite as stupid. So, you know...
book, it mentions Alex. It says, you know, he's super censored. Why would you have to do that if he's just wrong? He must be onto something. They don't censor flat earthers. And as you accurately pointed out, they absolutely do. And I've been kicked off Venmo, PayPal, Airbnb. We're talking about cosmology as to why.
Airbnb is weird. Why is Airbnb kicking? Because I've seen that in a few different places, that conspiracy theorists randomly get kicked off Airbnb. Now,
I wouldn't want a flat earther staying at my Airbnb. Frankly. They shit in the basin of the toilet and piss in the toaster or something because they're dumb.
You could understand possibly some of the other ones. Airbnb is not that big. I mean, that's kind of weird. Is Hilton all of a sudden going to put him on the, you know, the banned guest list or something?
Why it's not as censored? There's no cover story, right? So with everything else, it's hate speech, it's dangerous, blah blah blah. It's dangerous medical misinformation.
Kill the Bank. The Steven Seagal series is 20 hours in length.
That could hurt people. What can you say about flat Earth?
Yeah.
Really nothing.
No, thank you. I don't want to watch anything Steven Seagal. You're all right.
Right. So there's no even cover story to actually censor it completely. So what do? They shadow ban it, which is arguably worse because when Alex Jones gets kicked off everything, everyone wants to know why. When you're still on YouTube, people think, oh, you're not censored, and then they can't find you. Like if you search Flat Earth, you get nothing but hit pieces. So it did absolutely explode. Obviously, the conversation would be, is it organic or not? But like you said, they...
Explode? No, it didn't. It raised a little bit compared to what it was. But more people were still searching for Bigfoot. More people were still searching for Barbie. More people were probably searching for diarrhea and hemorrhoids than any time Flat Earth. Yes, the searches for Flat Earth may have increased when somebody mentioned it, but that happens for anything. Anything at all. It gets mentioned, the searches raise. But if you look at the searches for Flat Earth compared to anything else, they're fucking insignificant. Oh, well done. You got 50 instead of 25 people at your conference. Good fucking job, guys.
Pointed to the Flat Earth Society, which is specifically crafted misinformation. So that's like probably the strongest piece of evidence on...
Liz K, says a few more people did a search. Then they wiped their bums and went on with their lives. Yeah, when they were on the fucking toilet, they saw Flat Earth. What the fuck? Have a look at that. Nah, you're right. I'm gonna finish this shit now.
Off the rip against the PSYOP narrative is when I looked into it, all the information that was presented to me as Flat Earth is not what Flat Earth actually was. It turns out it's totally different. It makes the position asinine, and it's not actually what they think. And so,
Well, what is it then? No one can tell us actually what Flat Earth is. You claimed, Witsit, on fucking X, that there is a Flat Earth model. Then you showed a fucking toroidal field. That's not a model that can explain anything we see on Earth. Nothing about that is a model. Has no predictive powers. No map associated with it. You can't navigate with that. There's nothing about what you say the Flat Earth model is that is a model. All you need is a map that has the accurate size of the continents, and I'll be a fucking Flat Earther. That's it.
that's exactly what you would do if you're discrediting the truth. And as to the comparison to, say, QAnon, we know.
Alexis Letham in the chat, lying, says, Craig made me a Flat Earther, watched Witsit destroy him so many times I had to take the red pill. Of course, Witsit has never destroyed me. With 11 debates, he has looked like an idiot every single fucking time.
QAnon had a lot of truth in it. The reason QAnon worked.
Hold on, I gotta...
Alexis Latham claims that the toroidal field explains the motions of planets. No, it doesn't. In the slightest. Like, nothing about a magnetic field that isn't as the Flat Earthers show explains the motions of the planets we see in the sky. Nothing. Doesn't explain how they're being levitated or moved or why they do the weird movements they do. Nothing.
Stop this for in the chat. Bill Wall is blaspheming against the one and only Steven Seagal. Possibly.
Dark Meta says, why don't you show me your one-to-one scale model of the universe then? Thought so. No.
The most accomplished human on Earth today. I've even asked if he is the Messiah. You said you would avoid any content presenting him. Why is that? Because you've been hoodwinked by the anti-Seagal propaganda? Watch.
Steven Seagal is a horrific, horrible person that fakes being a martial artist and steals from disabled people. Anyone that thinks that Steven Seagal is a good person is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I defy anybody who actually watches the 20-hour Steven Seagal podcast series where I bring all of the receipts to each and every one of Steven Seagal's so-called outlandish and ego-based claims.
Yeah, Dark Matt, I know you were joking, mate. It's fine.
He's also pretty... He was basically... The Illuminati propaganda started spinning against him once he appeared on Piers Morgan and started exposing the Illuminati.
Worked was because it had a lot of truth. And so basically it was, don't get to these truths. If you're going to, we're going to round you up and guide how you interpret those truths, similar to Operation Trust, right? And just sit on your hands, don't do anything. So if it's a PSYOP, it hasn't worked very well because every single Flat Earther saw through the pandemic immediately. Every single Flat Earther protects...
We're so stupid we didn't believe a virus was real that actually killed millions of people. We saw through that. No, you didn't see through it. You lived through it. We all did. It happened. It was real. I got COVID. I know it was real. I mean, the pandemic, it's a stupid thing. Nobody planned to shut down half the fucking world and ruin a bunch of businesses. It was just bad reactions to something. Could we have done better with it? Yes, we fucking could have. But it was something that we personally hadn't dealt with in generations. So, but you didn't see through it. You lived through it and made it more difficult for the rest of us. That's what you fucking done.
Their children from the onslaught of propaganda, probably the highest percentage of homeschool.
Scott Whitaker, $2 Canadian says, did you get a new PC? No, I am getting together a bunch of money for some large upgrades. So, thank you for asking. And if anyone does want to donate to me getting a bunch of upgrades for the PC and helping with that, then feel free to donate to paypal.me/FTFE. And it's actually good if you want to do super chats. And if you do them through PayPal, it means that YouTube don't take a third of what you send. So if you do want to, thank you very much.
Bullying in the world.
Those are some interesting points by Witsit there regarding.
Scott Whitaker says for $100 Canadian, thanks for the content, Scott. That was incredibly kind. Like more than I can say. Thank you for being a supporter of the channel. First off, it means the world to me. It really, really does. Thank you for being here, for watching, liking, sharing, and massive thanks for the super chat, Scott. It means the absolute world to me. It allows me to push on and keep working on this channel with everything that I have. So thank you for your support.
Why would it be a psyop? I postulate that if it's a psyop, it's to, regardless of whether true or not, it's to actually cause this level of destabilization to bring in the New World Order. But for the people that...
It's not a psyop. There's no New World Order. Flat Earth is just a bunch of idiots being fucking idiots. CJ Lamarux has been a member for 2 months, says, oh, Witsit makes my head hurt. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Witsit and Mindshock together. Fuck's sake. Guys, we've got 40 minutes left of this. Then we move over to the modern day debate moon landing debate. Modern day debates moon landing debate. Words are hard.
Arguing it's a psyop for distraction, they're not arguing that. So Austin's pretty on point here.
It would be flat earthers. So as to it mattering or not, I'll touch on that. You did mention that it does have spiritual implications in our opinion, and you articulated disagreement, but it's pretty undeniable. So the conversation really comes down to 2 primary points, and is the Earth moving? Is the Earth a sphere?
Yes, and no, it's an oblate spheroid. There we go, done. Right, everyone, we can go home. Finished. Yes, it's moving, Austin. We've measured it. We know it's moving. Yes, it's spheroid. We know it is. We've measured it. Where the fuck is the bottom of buildings when you see them across lakes? Where do the ships go when they sail away? Why does celestial navigation work based on a globe? Why is there a radar horizon? Because the Earth's a fucking globe. We know what shape it is and we know it's moving. Just morons like you are incapable of thinking.
Those are the two primary things, and they're technically independent of each other, right? So the Earth could be stationary in a sphere in theory.
Yep, that's geocentrism in a nutshell. And here's the thing. Austin Witsit pushes geocentrism. In fact, he claims that the geocentric motion of the planets is explained by a flat Earth magnetic toroidal field, when those geocentric motions of the planets are actually based on the Earth being a sphere, but just not moving. So, yeah. And
when you first go down that rabbit hole, it gets very, very interesting. To mention a few things, right, you obviously have the idea of geocentrism, as you mentioned.
Shifty-Eyed Shady says, does it disappear over the curve, or is Earth too big to see the curve? Well, Earth's really, really, really big, and it makes it very hard to see the curve. But when a ship disappears over the curve of the Earth, that is the effect of the Earth having a curve. That's because the Earth is curved. Simple. New member, Les Peter Guitar Jam. Welcome to Scrappers. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Stephen Jarvis, £2, and says, shout out to Scott Topman. Yeah, absolutely, Scott. Thank you very much. And thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate it. Vandrex for $5 says, if someone doesn't trust NASA, why do they trust that they can keep a secret? Government institutions are notoriously horrible at keeping secrets. Abso-fucking-lutely. Melodic Lyrics, $5. I'll never understand moon landing deniers. We have literal rocks. You can literally go and see them. There's a whole giant list of museums. I know. It's a Rubik showed me one recently.
The little squiggly lines. Well, it actually is just spiraling within a torus field. It's exactly the flower of life geometry, which we see all the way from the...
It's the flower of... The planets in the sky are the flowers of life. Explain the weird orbit of Mercury. Explain why there's a slight perturbation in the orbit of Uranus. That's not explained by fucking magic toroidal fields.
Small scale to the big scale. We would actually expect the macro scale too.
Yeah, Harrison really picked the wrong guy to start talking spirituality. I mean, does Harrison not know any of this? Because if he's just a script reader, I guess...
Harrison's not talking right now. Why are you not dissecting the things that Witsit is saying and how stupid they are? Like, you've let Witsit talk for longer than you did for Harrison in the entire coverage of his bit of the debate, his opening. Tell me, Mindshock, how do Witsit's testicles taste?
He wouldn't know any of this.
All within the flower of life, because everything does, including the quantum scale. But It's called the Copernican principle. That's really like the foundation of this, right? It's the idea that the Earth does not occupy a special or unique position. So I certainly agree with you, bro, that looking at the current model would require a creator. This.
No. That is literally the what's it called? The fallacy of affirming the consequent. Fucking words. Sorry, guys. I'm still getting over a concussion. Give me a break. Yeah, that's literally affirming the consequent, right? This whole, oh, well, look at the world. It has to have a creator because things are created. Therefore, it has to have a creator. That's affirming the consequent. It's assuming there's a creator because things are created. And it's a stupid argument. No. The physics of the universe created the universe. Simple as that.
Place requires a creator regardless. And actually, the first and second law of thermodynamics show you that naturalism is...
The Ivory says that Mindshock can't talk over Witsit because it's rude to talk with your mouth full.
insufficient, and you must invoke supernatural creator. For the sun and the moon to coincidentally be the same size in the sky, but actually the sun's 400 times bigger, just coincidentally 400 times further away. How is that not, requiring an intelligent designer? But
Why should it? I mean, just because it is a coincidence. I mean, it's not exactly that, it's roughly that. And why should that require a creator? And also, you're making an argument for the globe. So,
at the same time, it isn't really about someone could say, well, I already believe in
hey, the casual engineer, how you doing?
God. Well, yeah, but
Begging the question, that's the words, Baba, thank you.
a lot of people don't. And atheism is the number one growing ideology, if you can even call it that, which results in nihilism and apathy and makes for perfect enslavement. So,
Atheism makes for perfect enslavement. Really? Well, isn't Christianity about doing what you're told? The fear of burning in hell. Isn't that enslavement? I feel like I'm more free than religious people, actually. And I'm not nihilistic. I understand my position in the universe. And think that my own personal position is special. And the life that I have is special. Nothing nihilistic about that. Just because you need a creator and a magic sky daddy to have some morals doesn't mean that I do.
so this is incredibly important. And when you look into the motion part, we were 100% undeniably lied to and misled about that situation.
No, we weren't. You are just too stupid to understand the situation. We weren't lied to about if the Earth is moving. There's no evidence that we were lied to. Now, do scientists sometimes get things wrong and have ideas updated? Absolutely. Is that a lie? No. But we've never been lied to about the Earth moving. If we've ever been told that the Earth is moving, that is true. Lovebot for 199 says, you said Uranus. Oh, weird. How dare you? Yeah, I can't say Uranus because YouTube take me down. I did it. Shit.
We're told that we know the solar system's a fact, and it's been proven the Earth moves around the sun. But in reality, you can look at Stephen Hawking, Edwin Hubble, Albert Einstein, Arthur Eddington, every major...
All of them say the Earth moves around the sun. All of them. All of them say the Earth moves around the sun.
prominent astrophysicist or astronomer in history, and they will tell you, we can never disprove that the Earth's in the center. We can't actually prove that the Earth is moving.
No, they've never said that. Not once, ever. There's many, many ways to prove that the sun is near the center of the solar system. Of course, the sun isn't the center of the solar system because both the sun and everything else in the solar system orbit the barycenter of the solar system, which is, just off of the center of the sun. Holy Smalls, $5. Witsit just debunked Hovin's The Earth is young because the moon is moving away. Witsit just debunks everything every time he speaks. That's the funny thing. He doesn't realize how many times he contradicts things that him or other conspiracy theorist idiots actually say.
Equally viable or more viable. We prefer to not go that route because Stephen Hawking said on grounds of modesty, and Edwin Hubble called it horrific and intolerable, a special and unique position. So that's a philosophical decision that they made.
And look at Austin Witsit's eyes. He's not...
Mindshock's come up for air. Just finished gargling on Witsit's balls for a second and come up to praise him.
He's not looking at a script. I mean, maybe he's got bullet points, but he's looking all over the place, and he's clear.
Yeah, that's the Adderall and ADHD kicking in, bud. And who's to say that he's not looking at a script? He might have a script in front of him. Harrison was looking all over the place. How biased is Mindshock that he's having a go at Harrison for possibly reading the script and just saying, oh, Witsit's not reading a script, when he's got no evidence that Witsit's not reading a script. Witsit has a script, but it's up fucking here because he said it so many fucking times. The Ivory says he just came up to stare into Witsit's eyes.
Really very eloquent in his delivery. I mean, like I said, I've been studying logic, and I've been studying debate for quite a long time.
No, you haven't. And if you have, then you're the worst student ever.
I want to say exactly how long, but it's been many, many years. I've never seen anyone even close to as good as Austin Witsit, which is actually astounding given how young he is.
Honestly, the love for Austin Witsit makes me feel ill. How he's holding Witsit up as the bastion of logic and debate awesomeness is insane. Flat Earthers think that he's amazing, even though he loses every debate he's ever fucking been in. It's insane.
I don't even remember the first debate I saw Austin in, but I was absolutely blown away.
Dave McKeegan says, leave Mindshock alone. It's hard to watch a debate when you're bending over.
Was mind-shocked. I mean, this guy's eloquence is...
Bubba Sweat says, Mindshock, wipe your chin, mate. Damn.
Just off the charts. And his logical consistency, even if he's wrong about the shape of the Earth, again, I make no claims about any of that. I'm just examining the argumentation. His argumentation is second to none on any topic, and I'm including myself in that analysis.
For the world, and then misled.
All right, he's going back down. He's finished breathing. He's back down. Look.
The world about what it actually was. So that's important. And we can obviously get into the specifics. You can 100% prove the Earth is not moving. It was done in 18.
No, you can't. No, you fucking can't prove the Earth is not moving. And he's about to lie about the Michelson-Morley experiment.
1987 with the Michelson-Morley.
There we go. He lied about the Michelson-Morley experiment. The Michelson-Morley experiment wasn't about Earth moving. It was about Earth's movement through the aether. Turns out there isn't a fucking aether. So Earth can't move through it. Earth's still moving, just not through an aether.
And it's been replicated many times since.
Matari Sensei brought up Andrew Wilson. I think you brought him up before, if not somebody else. Andrew Wilson's a powerhouse debater, but I mean, he does have holes in his game. I got sent a lot of Andrew Wilson debates.
Clarence says, I think we need to warn Witsit to get a restraining order against Mindshock. Nah, they're made for each other, mate.
I'll examine them.
Heat Shield says, quick rinse, back to work.
He's not, I wouldn't say he's anywhere near as good as Austin. However, in that sphere of red pill...
Steel City JW, Mindshock is high because of his blatant bias. Even his eyes are glassy because it's got Witsit's baby gravy in them. Oh, I feel ill.
Debating or whatever you want to call it. He might be the best in that area of debate. I mean, he's really good. He doesn't commit logical fallacies often, but he does have big blunders here or there. I've yet to see one from Austin. Austin commits some fallacies here and there too, but I've never seen him make any kind of massive blunders.
And what happened was...
Austin makes a blunder every time he opens his mouth. Lovebot499, Witsit keeps looking around so no one suspects he's looking at the top of Mineshaft's head.
They brought in Albert Einstein, flipped physics all on its head to keep the Earth moving around the sun. And that's why all physics is at a standstill now, because they threw out
all physics is not at a standstill.
The electrical field theory understanding of a background medium, or what is called the ether. They kept the Earth moving through space, and now we have, this compartmentalization of physics that doesn't all work together. So, to not overload everyone, my point there is that's one...
Well, so what if all of physics doesn't work together yet? We're still working on it. We know the Earth's a fucking globe, though. We've been to space and seen it.
Major part of it, yeah. If the Earth is in the center of the universe, it had to be created. And I get you could argue that it would have to be created either anyway, but you have a much stronger illusory position of confidence when you say, oh, well, the universe is so big that the Earth is this tiny speck of dust in this ever-expanding universe, and just based on mere chances and probability, the Earth could exist and be habitable, right? And that is the type of thinking that leads people to the idea that, well, no, this place wasn't created. It was just random chance. And that it's literally the Copernican principle.
No, see, well, before Mindshaft gargles some more balls there, this is Austin Witsit's need to be special. And it's every flat earther's need to be special. Well, I don't think this is just random chance. I was put here for a purpose because I'm a special little boy.
Technology is dumb in the chat saying, flat or not, the geocentrism is the important point. There's a guy named Simon Shock. Really? His last name is Shock?
Yeah, geocentrism. Check out my debate with Robert Sungenis. That was fun.
Maybe we should have an interview with him on Mindshock. Mindshock with Simon Shock. With a remaking of the Brahe model.
Mindshock, if you're going to interview someone, will they also be using a potato as a microphone?
With Earth in the center with a working model, geocentrism point. Yeah, I mean, I was into geocentrism back as early as the year 2000. I'll repeat the story real quick.
Oh, you were brain damaged as well. Who saw that coming?
For people who haven't heard it. There was a forum, I don't want to say it was famous. It was famous among the underground. I don't remember what it was called. I didn't save it. I've saved tons of
Dave Lister says that Mindshock is into Witsit's fallacy. Budumch.
Stuff from the 90s on the internet. I just didn't anticipate it would ever get shut down because it wasn't an exclusive.
Godlike Reduction says you're throwing around some heavy claims here this evening, huh? Am I? Which claims are those exactly?
Geocentrism forum. It was a physics forum, and there was a major part of it was geocentrism, where over 200 currently employed physics professors, mostly US, but I think there were some from Canada, UK, Australia, and they were geocentrists, and they were physics professors, and some of them were astronomy professors as well. And when I first saw that forum, because I was doing a lot of research into relativity, so once you learn about, obviously,
if you're doing research into relativity, how come you know so fucking little about it?
Nikola Tesla versus Einstein, they try to distract you with Tesla versus Edison and the light bulb. The real conflict was between Tesla and Einstein and the very basis of physics itself.
No, not true. Einstein really didn't pay any notice to Tesla, frankly. That's the truth of the matter.
And how all of it was politicized and usurped with fraud. If you haven't checked out the Einstein Debunked podcast on Mindshock, check that out. I go into that.
Yeah, don't worry, we will be checking that out.
The hoax and Einstein's entire Nobel Prize being based on that hoax that Eddington admitted, and we go through all the receipts, and how that was the basis of him being consulted for all of mainstream establishment physics being switched over to relativity. And guess who was consulted on the government textbooks on what information to use? Albert Einstein. Can anyone say
he was
conflict
smart.
of interest?
No.
They basically, the U.S.
It's not conflict of interest. It's just a smart dude helping with the school.
Einstein. Like, what's the truth here? What's the truth? I mean, should we go with Maxwell and all of these previous physicists, or should we go with you? And he's like, well, of course I'm correct. And that's the basis.
Yeah, because he corrected a bunch of the stuff from before. And, was the smart one figuring shit out. So yeah, definitely go with him.
Of all the modern textbooks, and there was mass outrage. The physicists.
Yeah, I know, Shifty, that Mindshock says he's not a flat earther, but he's a flat earther. In all but name. Martin H says he's getting buffering, which is strange because it all looks good for me again.
Who weren't bootlickers, they protested this. Literally hundreds of scientists.
So is Mindshock gonna correct anything that Witsit says, or
protested against relativity because they knew it was bunk, and they were of course ignored by the powers that be. And then all modern scientism cultists just pretend and hallucinate that everybody agreed with Einstein when that was not true. So that was my introduction. I was researching basically relativity.
Raban makes a good point that Einstein's Nobel Prize was on the photoelectric effect and not relativity. But you don't expect Mindshock to know what the fuck he's talking about, do you?
Relativity. And that led me to this geocentrism forum where I was a little bit mind-shocked that there were literally hundreds of
Mindshock, see what you did there.
Professors, some at Ivy League schools, that were not heliocentrists. And then from that point on, after the documentary The Principle, I just kept learning and learning. Once I saw the flat earth thing, I was like, this is kind of interesting. Obviously, I thought it was bunk. And then the more I looked at it, the more, obviously it falls in line with geocentrism. So for me, it wasn't necessarily a bridge too far, although obviously I've gone over what.
Just come out the fucking closet and say the earth is flat, dude.
Tests can be done to prove the shape of the Earth. If people are interested, I'll go over them again
Martin H, why would you be so mean to Tweety Pie?
at the end, but I don't want to take up too much time with that. But geocentrism, I think all of these debates should just be geocentrism versus heliocentrism, because most people just can't handle, they just can't handle that because of the flat Earth indoctrination.
I'd debate geocentrism anytime, because Earth is not the center of the universe. There's nothing that says that.
To thinking, flat Earth is silly. Obama even said we don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society, presupposing that it's untrue. But I think heliocentric versus geocentric globe is a better starting point, especially for the average individual.
Ideology, which is that the Earth does not occupy a special or unique position. So if the Earth's in the center of the universe...
Joyce B in the chat saying, Christopher John Bjerknes has Einstein video critiques on his BitChute channel. I believe he wrote 3 or 4 books exposing Einstein. Also, Oleg Jeffimenko exposed Einstein decades ago with pure math, for those that are mathematicians. It's quite...
No, it didn't. Just... Guys, Mindshock thinks he's debunked Einstein, and trust me, we're going to get to that.
Dense, it's very, very dense. And he basically absolutely dismantled Einstein with pure math. That is Oleg Jeffimenko. There was also a Greek scientist, forgot his name. He also had this is how far back it goes. He had a GeoCities website in the late 90s. And he was discussed on the Geocentrism forum. Again, I wish I had saved those websites. He had a series of experiments clearly debunking relativity in very basic terms as well. So no shortage of guys blowing the whistle on Einstein.
Nobody has ever debunked relativity. Guys, I'm talking to you from satellites right now. Thanks to relativity.
Einstein. And then, of course, Run Z Cow has probably one of the easiest to understand dismantlings of Einstein's relativity. That is on the Mindshock channel as well.
Obviously, someone had to put it there. It's the most special, the most unique position. There is nothing like it. That means that us humans who have domain on the Earth are obviously very special as well. People do not believe, quote unquote, believe in flat Earth. They stopped believing in the globe, and they...
That's a lie. People believe in the flat Earth. Yeah, they may have stopped believing in the globe because they believe in the flat Earth. Guys, how do you know Witsit's lying? His lips are moving.
They then realize, oh wow, this has spiritual implications. People do not go and seek out flat Earth because they want the Bible to be literally true or something. It's quite the opposite.
Not all flat earthers believe in the Bible. Simple as that. Okay? If you claim that flat Earth is biblical, then you are making the no true Scotsman fallacy, because there are many flat earthers that are not religious and do not base it off of anything biblical. And you cannot speak for all of them.
People find out that the scriptures are now viable again. And so then it also comes into curvature, right? And so that's the 2 major things. And we falsified the radius value. So when it...
No, you haven't. You didn't falsify the radius value, you fucking moron. Here's Dave the cat showing you the space. So instead of falsifying the radius value, what you did was you strawmanned the globe by ignoring the refractive effects that happen. That is part of the globe model. So if you don't take those into account, then you are strawmanning the globe. And you don't debunk the radius value by using a strawman. Simple as that.
It comes to, well, all the model works so well. Well, that's also not true, and we can get into it. Every single part of the globe Earth model took hundreds of years to theoretically patch together.
And now it works perfectly. The model we have now works all of the time to predict everything that we need to predict. It works. It explains all of the observable phenomena with mechanisms, with predictions, with laws. There's no problem with the model. The problem is that you don't understand the model.
And it doesn't work. From the core all the way to the universe, none of it works. It's not even...
Yes, it does.
Close. And that's why you have dark matter and dark energy making up 96% of the universe. And it's just an illusion that we're in the center because everything's accelerating away from each other. All these crazy theories where if you just have the...
Is Harrison going to address a single point that Austin made here?
Not right now, no, because this is Witsit's opening. Why aren't you picking up on anything that Witsit is saying? Every word that fucking Harrison said, you picked apart. Barely let him get a sentence out. But Witsit's allowed to spout fucking nonsense and you're saying nothing.
Are we betting no?
Earth in the center, you don't need any of that. And it matches all astronomical observations. You don't have to claim that everything is an illusion. So why were we not told that? That should be a very interesting question for the audience. You were lied to about cosmology, like just on its face. Even if you want to believe we're moving through space and stuff. So
no, we weren't lied to about cosmology. You just don't believe it. Because, and Again, this is being nice, Witsit. You're a flat earther, and all flat earthers are fucking idiots.
And then the curvature, obviously, if the radius value is falsified, the entire model is falsified.
Godlike Reduction says he understands the model more than you. No, he doesn't. I have a degree in physics and a degree in nuclear engineering. I understand the globe model. He does not. He can't even explain what Coriolis is.
Right, because gravity uses that, day and night cycle uses that, everything uses that. Alleged radius of orbit to go to space. All of these claims require that.
Left-Handed Jedi says they're Terry Pratchett fans. Hey, don't diss Terry Pratchett. I've got every single Discworld book. I fucking love the Discworld. It's, like, hilarious. But, you know, that's the only way the flat earth is useful, is comedy.
Radius value be true. Distances on the globe. So if it's untrue, the entire model is untrue. So that's a still man of our position, is that we went to look for evidence of the globe, and it wasn't there. And falsification is independent of replacement.
That's
No, it's not. You can't just go, oh, we don't think it's that. We don't know what it is, but it's definitely not that. That doesn't work. Plus, you haven't falsified it. You've ignored physics.
Oh, that's such a critical point, that falsification is independent of replacement.
Oh, here he goes. He's tickling those balls. You know, he's doing a bit of the gargling up there.
That is such a critical point. I mean, that intro video that I was talking... I mean, the intro...
Oh, Witsit's so smart. Witsit is so intelligent. Oh, he's look at him. Oh my god, I just love being near his knees and gargling on his balls and listening to the wisdom come out of his mouth.
Of all debates that I said should be 5 minutes, it should probably be closer to 10 minutes. Because that point really needs to be driven home to any individual who wants to participate in any debate on any subject.
Nerd Alert makes a good point. If the radius value is falsified, the entire model is falsified. Package deal fallacy, and he couldn't debunk it for the life of him anyway. Absolutely fucking right. Andreas Eldridge for 56 says, and even if you debunk the radius value, there is still another radius value. It's still a globe. Yeah. They're never going to understand that refraction means you can see further, and you will never be able to just measure the globe by looking at the horizon and just like going, oh, well, that's further than we thought. You have to use the appropriate tools, which they never do.
You don't need to know what happened to know what didn't happen. You don't need to know the truth to know what isn't the truth. If I claim to have gone to Mars yesterday, you don't need to...
Here's Mindshock with, once again, one of the worst analogies that a human being has ever made. Sorry, he's not a human being. He's clearly 3 chipmunks in a trench coat.
Know where I went to know where I didn't go. So even if you can't prove exactly where I went, if you have particular timestamps, toll receipts, whatever, you can prove, you might not be able to prove exactly where I went, but you can reasonably deduce that I did not go to Mars or somewhere claimed.
Dave McKeegan says that Mindshock's debate notes probably just read, MS loves AW forever. Yeah, that was it. Well, he was probably like writing his name like Mindshock Witsit. Like, you know, imagining himself as Witsit's beautiful bride or something.
For example, if I just said, I'm in the US and I just went to Egypt for a second and came back. I mean, you don't, even if I actually leave the mic for a second. That was...
Has anyone told Arkham that this clown's loose?
A second. I didn't go back and forth between the US and Egypt in that second. You don't need to know where I went. Maybe I didn't...
This is probably something that happened. His parents probably told him he was adopted. He's not, but his parents probably told him he is.
My whole life is a lie, bro. Those aren't really my parents. I was adopted. And you say, well, who are your real parents then? I said, I don't know. I just found out that they're not my real parents. I just falsified they're my parents. I don't really know who the real ones are. And you could say, wait, you think everyone in town's in on it? Everyone in the church is in on it? No, they believe the lie. They believe that those are my parents. And if you said, well, until you can tell me who your real parents are, I'm not going to believe that those aren't your real parents.
Wait, I was wrong. Mindshock didn't have the worst analogy. Witsit fucking did. I spoke to your mum. She says she doesn't love you, Witsit.
That would be ridiculous, right? Obviously, the falsification that they're my parents stands on its own. That's the way that this situation goes. Frank.
What's Mindshock's favorite biscuit? Ginger nut.
And respectfully, I would say it's somewhat coping. Do not focus on that. Focus on the evidence or lack thereof for the positive globe Earth claim.
There's plenty of evidence for the fucking globe. We've been to space.
That's a great point and great analogy by...
Oh, Witsit, you're so wonderful and great. Oh, hallelujah, you're here to give us this wisdom. Oh, Witsit, my prince, my fountain of knowledge, my foundation of intelligence. Oh, Witsit, thank God you've made this amazing point.
Witsit there. Because, again, that's also a great one. Because he kind of covered a lot of points there. I hope everybody was paying attention. I mean, this is like Jordan, again, putting up 50 points. He's running a clinic. Austin Witsit is just running a logical clinic on Harrison here. Harrison doesn't even know what's going on as he's getting 50 points scored on him.
The debate hasn't even started. They're just stating their positions. And Mindshock is acting like his boyfriend has won the debate. You can't see it, but Mindshock is under the desk with Witsit right now.
Because, again, you don't need to know what the truth is to know what it isn't. And that doesn't, people being misled does not mean they are lying. Humans are fallible. I talk about this all the time. The scientism...
Oh, I know, none of them get the irony. Here still, I fully expect them to clip that and take it seriously.
Cult is basically pretending that humans can't be corrupt or fallible in large numbers. It can only be a single human there or a single human there.
What the fuck are you talking about, Minecraft?
And actually, George Carlin had an excellent quote. There's an excellent George Carlin quote on conspiracies. You don't need a formal conspiracy when interests converge. I'll repeat that again for the cheap seats if there's any coincidence theorists up in here. You don't need a formal conspiracy when different mafias that are in competition with each other. The Italian mafia.
What is he fucking going on about? He's going to talk about anything apart from the nonsense Witsit said, right?
The Chinese triads, the Japanese yakuza.
Yeah, Siren, you're right. But then he just said that Steven Seagal was a good person, so...
There's some kind of Interpol crackdown on something. They want to survive and continue to make money. So they might not even have formal meetings where they discuss what to do about Interpol, but they're all going to be involved in some levels of deception against Interpol and to continue their business. So if there is some kind of interests converging, another example I used are slave plantation owners. Anything that threatens the institution of slavery, they're going to be against, even if they don't have a formal meeting, even if they compete each other. If there's different cotton plantations that are also...
How does any of this have anything to do with anything that Witsit or Harrison have said? What, did somebody skip to the next fucking chapter and I missed it?
Each other's competition, they're still going to be aligned, formally or informally, about anything that threatens their entire institution. So, if there is some kind of Illuminati agenda to get everybody to believe the Earth is a globe, all of these statist cults and their space agencies, these countries and their space agencies, they would be in it to deceive, even if they don't formally have any kind of agreement.
Are you guys getting buffering? I don't understand. What is fucking YouTube doing to me that's making this buffer? Because it's perfect on my side. David D's member for 4 months says, Mindshock has a photo of Austin he calls my precious. Yeah, too right. Hey Brenda, how you doing?
Or meeting in order to do so. They're gonna...
Dave McKeegan says, I wonder if Austin managed to get all the lipstick off his arse after this.
They're going to continue the deception independently if it threatens any kind of foundation of control over their citizenry. So I don't know if I want to call that a basic concept, but that is a concept that should be understood by anyone even talking about any kind of conspiracy.
Which is antithetical to all evidence and experience, and then focus on random questions like the meme says, oh, how does everything in the universe work? Oh, you don't know? Well, checkmate, stupid Flerf, right? If you've ever seen that meme, that isn't a proper way to go about it.
No one's ever made that meme. The memes are, how big's the flat Earth? Don't know. Does it move? I don't know. How does the moon work? I don't know. How's the sun work? I don't know. Distance to the sun? I don't know. Distance to the moon? I don't know. That's the memes. You've just made up something, Austin.
So that's kind of a lot of the meta arguments there. I don't really see this being a successful PSYOP. I think that it's done quite the opposite. And people should just step back and kind of look at the evidence for what it is. And that's what I encourage people to do. And just like you said, I will say, just like with everything else, like with the pandemic, we got gaslit the whole time. Oh, you science denier this, science denier that. Oh,
Yeah, you did deny science, and you made it worse.
You have no idea what we're talking about. Trust the experts. And of course, it was all a lie. It was all a lie. So ridiculing people, mocking people, dismissing them as a PSYOP and stuff is not a
Godlike reductions, I now feel sick. Thank you very much.
Approach we should take as truth.
Another point I want to add here is, I've brought this example up many times too. the appeal to motive nonsense. Why would they do this or that? Like a serial killer. A serial killer could be killing
Are you not going to pick up on anything that Witsit's saying?
all these people, and there's bodies and evidence, blood evidence, weapons, etc. Just because you can't figure out the motive, like maybe just like with a lot of these conspiracies, MK Ultra, whatever, without the top secret clearance levels, like the coincidence theorists, authority worshipping cultists, bootlicker goofs, who hallucinate that just because they can't comprehend what a good enough motive would be, they don't have the top secret level clearances.
Oh, and you fucking conspiracy theorists do? Oh my fucking god, no. None of you are allowed to work for the government because you don't have a high enough IQ.
And if the reason is something else entirely, it's not relevant. Because if you're just objectively, logically, and neutrally examining the available evidence using logic and reason, the motive is, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it doesn't matter. You can still find out what
MB says, what's that in your teeth, Mindsucks? It looks like a carrot stick. Ugh.
the truth is, or at least what it isn't, without knowing motive.
That's right. We never do that. So long story short, when you look into the actual alleged claim that the Earth is a spinning globe, which, again, is antithetical to experience.
No, it's
so
not.
you're saying, well, I think you have the burden of proof as well. I agree. If we
Antithetical. You learned a big word.
say that the Earth is flat and stationary, that has a burden. And it's substantiated with every observation and all-day experience that we have. Everyone experiences the Earth is stationary. Everyone
Observations are not evidence of something that requires measurements. If you don't have the senses that are capable of detecting the thing that you're trying to observe, then it makes no fucking difference. Nerd alert, 45 months has been a member, and he says, top secret clearance, appeal to authority much? Yeah, the irony, it's insane, isn't it?
experiences that the stuff in the sky moves in relation to the Earth not moving. We fly planes like the Earth is flat and stationary. We build bridges, runways,
No, we
railways,
don't.
all engineering as if
No, they don't. Fucking, they don't. Lie.
the Earth is flat. Everything that we do is if this Earth is stationary and flat. The horizon, I mean, it comes from the word horizontal.
No, it doesn't. That's another lie. It comes from the Greek word yipmus, meaning bounding circle.
So the default empirical position is that the Earth is flat and stationary.
No, the default position is not that it's flat and stationary. That's just what you want the default position to be.
And that the sun and the stars and the moon, they move over top of us. There's a claim that comes in and says, well, that's actually an illusion, right? And everything is back. So that would have the burden of proof, and that's the line of logic for that.
All right.
I mean, I don't see how anybody can.
Right. That sounds like that was the end of Witsit's time. So we are going to leave it for there today with Mindshock, right? As I go into a little bit of prep for my moon landing debate over on Modern Day Debates in 30 minutes. I want to say thank you to everyone for hanging around for Mindshock Mondays. Every Monday we're going to do 90 minutes of, well, first of all, we're going to get through this, and then we're going to cover other Mindshock stuff that I'll get you guys to vote on as we go. But yeah, please stick around. If you stay in the chat, then it will automatically chuck you over to the next chat for the Modern Day Debate, Moon Landing Debate. And then remember, after that, I've got another Flat Earth debate with Stuart Buckle. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And as a reward, here's a little song. Wait, where is it? Oh, no. I've lost the song that I was going to play you. There we go. Enjoy. Dave McKeegan, £5, says, trust what you see. Carnival mirrors show I'm skinny and tall. Awesome.
Oh, Cheswick is a wanker. He wears a tinfoil hat. The conspiracies he believes in just make him look a twat. And everybody laughs at him when he tries to write a tune, 'cause every single word he sings makes him look a loon. Now Cheswick went on Mastermind to prove the Earth was flat, but he sat there looking gormless, just like Daniel Pratt. When they asked him for some evidence of a non-rotating disc, he spouted loads of gibberish and sounded like he's pissed. Mr. Cheswick is a loser. He tried to strike fight down. He didn't know Craig's a sailor, which made him look a clown. His online views are pitiful. He's as popular as the clap. He talks about conspiracies and believes the world is crap. Now Cheswick's brand of stupid is something to behold. He says that COVID's just made up and he thinks that moonlight's cold. Well, he's a prick of all trades and a master of none. And when you ask him simple things, he just says, oh well, duh. When Cheswick talks geometry or distance to the sun. He just comes out in a nasty rash and then he bites his tongue. He's clueless how to use a sextant or theodolite. He runs away from easy questions at the speed of light.
Yeah, that's an awesome tune. Hey, thank you guys for watching. I will see you again in about 30 minutes. PhD Tony for $5 Australian says there is no default position in science. There is only what the evidence supports, which is that the Earth is a globe, rotating in space. I'll see you all very, very soon. Remember that stupidity is not a right. Damn it, where's my outro? I nearly had that set up. Remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat Earth.
Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
The cray.
Fight the flat.